Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Monday, 24th of July 2023, and it's equivalent to 5th of Muharram 1445 after Hijrah. The headlines: Shatima to represent Tinubu at UN Russia-African Summit. Leaked memo shows Lagos government approved 61 million naira for mass burial of 103 NSAS victims. Suspected poisonous alcohol claims 6 lives in Ogun. And on the foreign scene, Congolese soldier guns down 13 civilians, mainly children. And in sports, Milan to announce Chukwu Eze signing. And those were the headlines, and for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayet Sani Ibrahim. The Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima will represent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the United Nations Food System Summit in Rome, as well as the Russia-African Summit. Shettima had yesterday departed Abuja for the two major international summits in Rome, Italy and St. Petersburg, Russia. This was disclosed in a statement on Sunday by his spokesman Olusola Abiola at the Rome event. The president will join other global leaders for the fourth stock-taking moment STM Summit themed Transforming Food System for People, Planet and Prosperity, scheduled from Monday 24th to Wednesday 26 July. The event is being organized in collaboration with the Rome-based UN agencies, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, the International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD, and the World Food Programme WFP, as well as the UN Food Systems Coordination Hub and wider UN system. Shettima will then proceed from Rome to St. Petersburg in Russia for the Russian-African Summit scheduled for Wednesday, July 26. A leaked memo addressed to the Lagos State Ministry of Health indicating that the state government approved 61,285,000 for the mass burial of 102 persons identified as 2020 NSAS victims has gone viral on social media, sparking outrage. The memo, dated July 19, 2023, captures steps for the processing of funds after approval by the governor. There have been controversy over the number of deaths recorded during the NSAS protest, resulting in the governor setting up an inquest led by Justice Doris Okuwobi. Since the protest in 2020, both the Lagos government and the federal government have consistently denied any mass killing during the NSAS protest. However, a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Olusegun Ogboye, described the report as deliberately misinterpreting and sensationalizing a letter from the Public Procurement Agency. Ogboye maintained that the 103 bodies were picked up after the violent #NSAS protests and other clashes at Fagba, Ketu, Ikorodu, Orile, Ajegunle, Abule Egba, Ikeja, Ojota, Ekoru, Ogba, Isola and Aja areas of the state, as well as a jailbreak at Ikoyi prison. Amid worsening revenue challenges, state government's indebtedness to commercial banks have risen to 2.2 trillion naira, findings by newsmen have shown. The latest data from the quarterly statistical bulletin of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, obtained by newsmen showed that states and local government areas owed banks about 2.21 trillion naira as of March 2023. CBN data also revealed the state's indebtedness rose from 1.97 trillion naira to the current figure, indicating an increase of about 240 billion naira within the period under review. Reacting to the development, state government workers and pensioners unions lambasted governors, saying the rising borrowing by government had only worsened the finances of the state. The National Union of Local Government Employees and state chapters of the National Union of Pensioners said the bank's loans did not translate to better infrastructure and improved welfare for workers and pensioners. A senior police officer attached to the Ondo State Police Command have been killed by a hit-and-run driver at a checkpoint along Ifon-Sobe Highway in the Ose Council area of the state. It was gathered that the victim was on duty when the driver who was flagging down refused to stop and knocked him down. He reportedly died on the spot while his colleagues pursued the killer until he was arrested in Edo State. Contacted, the State Police Command spokesperson Fumi Odulami said the suspect have been arrested in Edo State for the killing of the police officer. Odulami said the remains of the deceased officer have been deposited in the morgue. 6 individuals have reportedly lost their lives due to the ingestion of a potentially toxic alcoholic beverage in Ogbogbo, located in the Ijebu Northeast region of Ogun State. The incident was verified by Omolola Odutola, the public relations officer for the Ogun State Police Command. According to sources, the distressing event took place on Tuesday at a local hangout where 7 friends had gathered for a celebration. It is reported that the fatal drink was allegedly provided by one of the friends who had brought it from his home, but suspiciously did not consume it himself. Prior to the tragic incident, an intense argument had broken out among the friends, but was eventually resolved. In the spirit of reconciliation, the individual who had abstained from drinking allegedly offered a bottle of alcohol that he had brought from home. After their gathering, the 6 friends who had consumed the beverage went their separate ways. A few hours later, reports emerged that 2 of the friends had suddenly died while 4 others have been rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, the remaining 4 hospitalized individuals also lost their lives the next day. The friend who had brought the drink and refrained from drinking it has reportedly gone into hiding since the incident. A pregnant woman, 3 children and 18 others were reportedly roasted to death after a tanker exploded at Akwai in Odigbo Council area of Ondo State. Reports had it that the victims were scooping fuel after a petrol tanker fell and spilled its content and exploded after the driver lost control. The incident, it was gathered, happened along Showboy Road opposite Optima filling station in Ore Sunday evening. Newsmen were informed that the fire was ignited by a spark from a phone of the person scooping fuel that spilled from the tank. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Mrs. Fumilayo Odulami, confirmed the incident and described the victim as fuel scoopers. A former governor of Kano State, Umar Ganduje, has intensified lobbying in his bid to emerge as the next national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC). The crisis within the ruling party led to the sudden exit of Senator Abdullahi Adamu and Senator Iola Omisore as the party's national chairman and national secretary, respectively. Ganduje from the Northwest Zone have been visiting prominent members of the party to solicit support for his ambition. But the North Central Zone is opposed to his clinching the coveted position. However, Ganduje was said to have secured the backing of President Bola Tinubu and the Progressive Governors Forum. The PGF, an umbrella body of governors elected on the APC platform, which met in Abuja, has reportedly agreed to back Ganduje as Adamu's successor. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has shifted the date to effect new tariff toll fare at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport from July 17 to August 1. In a statement signed by the FAN management on Sunday in Abuja, the postponement was to make the airport users to enjoy more of the current charges. According to the management, the fare forecast will change from 200 naira to 300 naira, while that of buses and sport utility vehicles (SUVs) will change from 300 naira to 500 naira only. It said the truck size tires tariff will change from 500 naira to 1,000 naira, while the trailer and container tariff will be 2,000 naira, while urging the public to take notice of the changes in the effective date and tariff. The management reassured the passengers, concessionaires and stakeholders of the airport's commitment to their safety, security and comfort while using or passing through the airport. And on the foreign scene, a distraught Congolese soldier shot dead at least 13 civilians, most of them children, in a village in the northeast of the conflict-plagued country, military and local sources said Sunday. The naval serviceman fired on civilians gathered on Saturday evening at the place of mourning in the village of Nyakova on the grounds that his child had died and been buried without him being informed. Army spokesman Lieutenant Julius Ngongo told AFP the soldier have been with his unit in Gobu, 55 kilometers away. Another local official said that a 14th victim died on Sunday morning as a result of his injuries. Armed groups have plagued much of Eastern Republic of Congo for decades, a legacy of regional wars that fled in the 1990s and 2000s. And in sports, Italian giants AC Milan are expected to announce the signing of Super Eagles winger Samuel Chukwueze next week after reaching an agreement with La Liga side Villarreal. The 24-year-old is expected to sign a 4-year deal with the Italians valid until the end of the 2026-2027 season. Chukwueze had already agreed personal terms with the Rossoneri According to Gazetta's report, the Rossoneri have agreed to pay a total package of £28 million for Chukwu Eze, made up of £20 million upfront and £8 million in bonuses. To confirm the validity of the report, the Nigerian international was dropped by the Yellow Submarine for their friendly against German side Hanover on Saturday, despite no reports of injuries. According to reports, the 24-year-old is expected to undergo his medicals as early as Monday next week. And with the sport news, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at TUNTBE Radio FM TV, respectively. You can also watch us live on the satellite decoder Sat, which has been watched in about 38 countries of the world free. You can also stream us and watch us live on our YouTube channel at Unity FM TV. I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs. To have yourself a lovely day.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.